Hey, g'day everybody, it's Matt here from Matt Carve. So today we're carving a concave into a spoon and I want it to be like that one on the right. And we're using the Extreme, the Coarse and the Fine Kutzall Roto saws. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is draw a line around the spoon. And this really is a line that you don't want to go over, so it doesn't have to be too wide. And then what you do is you just kind of attack it with the rotor saw. That's the extreme one. And so I just go in and I pull it down and take out a lot of wood with that extreme one. Okay, so when it comes to approaching the line, you want to do it gradually and just take your time. Sort of like you can see there, I'm not going right up to the line there, just gradually going up to it. And then I might go right onto the line itself. Oh, I don't want to go any further than that. And it's actually best to actually do hand sandpapering to smooth out that fine detail on the edge of the spoon, because rotary saws will no doubt tear it out. Okay, so if we can see the burr there, the extreme burr, you can see it's very extreme, and those lines there you can see will leave deep marks if you go into the wood like this. So you can see there's some pretty deep marks in there. So you always want to sort of pull the burr through the wood, and it gives you the profile of the Kutzall Roto saw as well. So you can see that there are still lines there, but they're nowhere as severe as that line there. So let's just take out that line that I put in before. Okay, so I just tend to use my fingers to work out the thickness, and what you can do is you can just use them like that. So put them on the edge and then move them through the spoon, and you'll be able to notice the difference of your fingers moving it up or down. I guess you could use calipers, but I don't have any, and I don't actually know how to use them either. Okay, so now we're going to use the Kutzall Roto saws, the fine and the coarse one. As you can see, there's a little bit of a difference there between the two, but I'm going to do a little bit of an experiment and see if they are that much different anyway. So on the first one, you can see I put C there for coarse, and so I'm just going along and using that. It's good with the finer burrs. You can use them just to accurately go along lines as well. And now I'm on to the fine burr. And yeah, it's, I don't know, there's not a lot of difference in taking off the material. So there, I'm trying to do as best as I can on both sides. So I guess there's a little bit of a difference there, but not much. Okay, so we're going to use the Dremel flap sander now, and that's 80 grit, and it's pretty much like the rotosaw, but I think it's a little bit more, I guess, forgiving because it bends to the shape of the spoon. And this is an older one, so you can see it's actually sort of worn away on the edges, so it's got quite a nice sort of shape to it anyway. And you always want to kind of finish off sort of like going with the grain if you can. So that's the sort of like difference. On the left there's the rotor saws, and on the right is the Dremel flap sander. I think, yeah, I'm going to do the back with it as well. One of the problems with this flap sander is, well, it's quite expensive, but I do use it only in specific jobs like this, and I try not to use it for everything. So as usual, you want to finish off with hand sanding, and I think the edges of spoons like this are best to be done with sandpaper, because you can accurately go along and thin out those edges with sandpaper a lot more than you can with a rotary tool. So I got these from the local hardware store. Virtually they're just soft sponges with a sort of like material sandpaper on them, and they seem to work really well for these kind of like contoured, I guess, pieces of wood. And you might have seen me using this little desander, and I can't actually give you a link because I just bought it from a place in New Zealand, and it doesn't have like a brand name on it or anything, and I haven't really seen too many of them on Amazon. So I think it's good, but I think that it's better for sort of like real deep cups or something like this, whereas with a spoon you can get away fine with just hand sanding, and even this will leave marks. You can sort of see them there, whereas hand sanding is really accurate and it will leave the least amount of marks on your work. So, and that's the final product there on the right. And I put some coal rossing on as well, so a little bit of a finer pattern there. Okay, so and check out my favorite burr in this video. Well, it's not quite my favorite burr, but it's up there.